Aloha from Salah El Din Castle. I'm so excited today to take you on a tour on the Cairo Citadel, Salah El Din's Castle in Cairo. Salah El Din, the conqueror of the Crusaders, commissioned to construct this castle in 1176 in order to protect Cairo city from the Crusaders' campaigns. So we are approaching the castle entrance now. Today, fortunately, it's not so crowded. That's really good. This is the castle's entrance. There's some security checks here. The fees for the castle entrance is £30 for student and 60 for Egyptians, and foreigners students 230, and foreigners in general £450. This is the tickets box office. So after entering the castle, this is what you see. Here's like a bazaar. You can come here and buy some souvenirs. Oriental Egyptian. This is a statue for Saladin, and this is his helmet. The castle is really magnificent, and it's housing important constructions like Muhammad Ali Mosque, and there is a museum for Egyptian military and Egyptian police. This castle was built on the hill of Muqattam, which give it a very commanding view over the city of Cairo and the Nile River. It's a perfect position for protecting the city from the Crusaders' campaign, and this is the main purpose why this castle was built. So after this castle was built, it was the house for the governor of Egypt for 700 years. For all Saladin's family, the Ayyubi era, 700 years, this castle was housing the governor for Egypt. And it had a huge influence on overall the Middle East overall, not just Egypt. This huge mosque is Muhammad Ali's mosque. It was built on the style of the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. He wanted to build something like the Sultans for the Ottoman Empire. And Muhammad Ali, his dream was to become a replacement for the Ottoman Empire and to rule the Islamic country from Egypt. The mosque is quite magnificent and huge, and I believe Muhammad Ali's body is buried inside this mosque. So Muhammad Ali started his reign in this castle, and there is a very well-known event. He invited all the Mamluki, which had power, maybe the strongest group that had power in his time. He invited them for a feast in this castle, and as everyone entered the castle, they were requested to leave their weapons at the gates, which is pretty normal if you are going and meeting the ruler of Egypt. Out of respect, you'd leave your weapons and everything and armors in the gates. And after everyone arrives to the castle, the bands were singing, the belly dancers were dancing, the food was there, everyone is feasting. The soldiers of Muhammad Ali opened their swords and they massacred, they butchered everyone. They killed all the Mamluki in the castle. And that's how Muhammad Ali started ruling Egypt, he and his sons to follow. Almost everyone was massacred except one Mamluk. I am not sure about the name, but yeah. Only this one Mamluk managed to escape with his horse, jumping from the castle on his horse and running from this massacre. You can see how high it is. This castle is. I'm not quite sure how can someone manage to jump with his horse from this height to the ground and then fleeing to over Egypt from this massacre. It's quite a story. This castle has so much of stories of the strength, courage, loyalty, and betrayal, treason. The stones here have witnessed quite much of events. As you can see, the view is really great from here. It's a very unique view on the entire Cairo city and even the Nile River. So that was a very perfect vantage point for protecting the city from the Crusaders campaign. Saladin, he's the one who was able to bring peace to Jerusalem. With his power and justice, everyone was happy under his rule. He was able to bring back Jerusalem after all the massacres that Crusaders did, coming and stealing from the Middle East. By the name of Christ, the church called it the Holy Campaigns, just making use of innocent people who really believed them. But it was nothing but just few people wanted to make use of it and wanted to steal the treasures of the Middle East. There were so many campaigns that came to Middle East, Egypt, Jerusalem, and they were all trying to steal because the Middle East back then was really powerful. It's very rich. Now I'm approaching Muhammad Ali's mosque. It's quite impressive how beautiful this mosque is. The amount of details, it gives you the sense of greatness. عليكم السلام عربي. تمام. So this is not the entrance. This is the exit. That's why I need to rotate around the mosque. Absolutely beautiful. How magnificent this mosque is. Just like all the other sultans of the Ottoman Empire, Muhammad Ali built this one to say, I am the new sultan. He's a man with a great impression. And he actually built a very powerful empire, we can say. Maybe not as big as the Ottoman, but he was about to do that. Just the Ottomans partnered with Europeans to defeat his fleet. He had a huge fleet and a huge army. And only with the help of Europeans, Ottomans were able to defeat him. But they couldn't demolish his state. He continued actually, and his sons continued until 1952. As you can see, people are doing their weddings here because it's really, very unique position for Cairo. You can see almost everywhere of Cairo and here. Taking photos here is really good idea. With the entire city behind you. This is the garden in front of the mosque. Normally you are supposed to take off your shoes before entering the mosque, but now if you pounds they give you this and you can put it in your shoes. You don't need to take off your shoes anymore. Now we are entering the main hall of the mosque, and as it is the Ottoman style, there is in the middle the place for taking abdest. I think now they are using it for ceremonies and maybe for weddings. Not sure about this. And here is a clock that was pretty advanced back in the time, you know, to have such a clock. Like the London watch. So you can see the amount of details, even just for the taken at this place. That's quite impressive. Every part of the mosque, of the castle, shows greatness. The main point for these buildings is that say we are here. It's quite impressive looking at these buildings and constructions. I am moved out how beautiful these look like. How people were able to build such great constructions and staying after hundreds of years. This building has been here for so many years. And here's the main hall for the mosque. That's the main hall of the mosque. You can see how impressive that is. Wow. It's made with gold, most probably. It looks like new actually. It looks like it's just made yesterday. Wow. Very magnificent. Absolutely amazing. And that's Muhammad Ali's graveyard. He's buried here. Even in that you can see how impressive that looks. The artists built these, really impressive artists. So many details in this building. Every corner have so much details. So Muhammad Ali was able to rule Egypt, he and his son, and build a really strong and powerful country. Do you believe Muhammad Ali was right about what he did, the massacre he did in this castle or not? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments, because that's actually a pretty controversial topic. People say this is politics, he can do this. Others say it's a betrayal. My thoughts about this, actually this is completely betrayal. If you are inviting someone, even if he is like a political rival or whatever, inviting them and telling them you are safe in my palace or castle or whatever, and you massacre them, this there is nothing like this in the history of Islam, or even the Prophet that we all follow as Muslims. Never done anything like this. ايه رأيك في القلعة؟ حبيت المكان؟
طبعا.
ايه اللي حبيته في المكان؟ الأنوار والمكان كبير ها؟ Over there you can see the Cairo Tower, the popular Cairo Tower is over there. And actually the Nile is very close to there. So this is what I mean by the very perfect position for the castle. This castle looks over the entire old city of Cairo. The view here is really impressive. Coming here and taking photos, having the entire old Cairo city behind you, it's really perfect idea. If you come to Egypt, make sure not to miss this spot. It's really perfect. The view, very special view from here. You can see, because the view is really special, the weddings are, the brides and grooms come here and they take photos, because this is one of a type here. This is old city of Cairo. Fatimi's, Mamluki, Muhammad Ali's family, they are all lived in here and they ruled this area. Thousands of years in this area.
Pyramids are there.
You can even see the pyramids of Giza from this castle. حبيبي ده So here is the entrance for police museum, police national museum, and I believe it has a prison which so many of popular writers and freedom fighters have been imprisoned in this prison during different political eras. Yeah, this is the popular prison in this castle, Mathaf al-Qala. And here you can find some glimpses from the history. This is the first firefighter court in Egypt, and this is yeah, same, that works with actually steam. This one works with steam, this is with normal horse. And yeah, similar. This is again for firefighters. Then you can see here there's a little progress from 1620 to until the modern days, 2015. This is the development of firefighters. Burning of the opera house. This is actually a very popular event. Is the original opera house. Khedive Opera House is the original opera house and the first opera house in the Africa and the Middle East, and it was character of Egypt and the fine art. It was built and constructed by the orders of Khedive Ismail on the occasion of the inauguration of the Suez Canal. So when they did the Suez Canal, they did this opera with it. Khedive Ismail actually introduced so many of the Western or modern civilization aspects like this opera, and building different districts on the Western style. This is the prison of the castle, which is very popular for being captured, for capturing or imprisoning popular figures for their freedom of speech. There's a statue inside showing you, I hope that can be clear on the camera, how the prisoner used to be. With this difficult time, you can see how narrow and dark the room. You are sitting here for years and years waiting even for a fair trial, but unfortunately because of politics and because of tyrant rulers, they are thrown here until they rotten in the darkness and solitude. Unfair for any creature, not just a human who's asking for his own freedom. It's not very huge, but you can see. The price of freedom is very expensive. So many people pay for nations to get their freedoms, and they lose their lives, their families lose. Freedom is not for free, unfortunately. This is the point of the story. Yeah, so the police museum is not very big. I believe the military museum is much bigger than that. It has a part for Muhammad Ali. Actually, Muhammad Ali doesn't have a separate museum. He takes one room in the military museum. Muhammad Ali is known to be the builder of modern Egypt. He is the one who based the army, the Egyptian army. First, he tried to get mercenaries from Sudan and from other countries to help him govern Egypt, because he didn't trust so much anyone, because as you can see, someone who massacred all his rivals at the start of his rule, he cannot trust so much anyone in the army or so. But it didn't work out, because it was really difficult to just rely on mercenaries. So he started to build an army, quite a pretty strong one actually. Everyone admits that Muhammad Ali was able to really build a very strong army. المتحف الحربي من هنا ولا منين؟ So this is the entrance for military museum. It's the entrance is quite impressive with all these cannons and Muhammad Ali Pasha in the middle, ordering his army to invade the world and to make his dreams true. This is a modern Egyptian soldier raising the peace sign, most probably a reference for the 6th of October victory to regain our land in Sinai after the Israeli occupation for quite a while. So all the history lessons, if we can learn something, your land will come back. And Egyptians have shown it, and the Middle East, people in the Middle East have shown it. Like even if the Crusaders come, even if different occupations come, it doesn't matter how long they stay. By the end of the day, the land will come back. What happened in Palestine? It's no different, actually. It's the story of our history. It has been always like that. And it will be always like that. The land will come back to the original owners. And those who advocate for peace and for justice and for freedom, the Western advocates, they are just nothing but bullshitting the whole world. We have seen that in the humanitarian crisis now. Now there are cameras, satellites, internet, everyone sees with his eyes what's happening to innocent babies, innocent families, civilians. And unfortunately, no one is doing anything. Politicians just think about their own personal benefits. And people thinking about the financial parts and gaining from war, selling weapons and gaining power. No one really thinks about freedom or justice. It's all fake. Here there's kind of rulers' statues from the year 3200 BC. Mina, King Mina Narmar, to the King Ahmos, to Thutmose, Ramses II, Salah El Din This is the man who brought justice and power to the Middle East. سيف الدين قطز الظاهر ركن الدين Papers, Muhammad Ali Pasha. Love him or not, agree with him or not, he was a very powerful man. His family ruled Egypt for almost 200 years. Egypt was very powerful under his rule. Either it was injustice or justice. This is something for people to tell and for history to tell, but he made a very powerful country. This is the entrance of the building of the museum, the military museum. You can come here and you can take these photos. They are giving you these customs, and you can take some of these interesting photos. I believe it will be really good experience. Let me ask how much would it cost? عرفنا على الأسعار كام؟
عندي في مقاسات، في مقاس كبير وفي مقاس صغير. المقاس الكبير دوت بيبقى عامل 300.
300 المقاس الكبير 300 جنيه؟
المقاس الصغير بيبقى عامل 150.
150 جنيه.
الصورة بتبقى زي كده.
و ده اللي هو ال 150؟
ده الفولدر.
لا فولدر، بتاخد فولدر زي ده. و ايه دي
يعني
الازياء الموجوده او الكاستمز الموجوده؟
ملابس في كاستم صلاح الدين
الفرعوني،
العمدة، محمد علي، بنت البلد، اسكندراني، فرعوني.
اسمك كريم ايه؟ تسلم يا محمد، شكرا جدا، شكرا. وبارك الله العسل. انا من القاهره، انا مصري. حبيبي تسلم. So as you have seen, from 300 pounds to 150 pounds, you can take one of these photos. Really a very beautiful memory, I believe. Unforgettable. If you come here, make sure to take one of these photos. So that would be it for our tour in the castle. I hope you liked it. It's really impressive. There's so much history in here. Egypt is really rich in history, and Cairo, especially Cairo, has very long and very interesting history. If you know some interesting facts about this castle and you'd like to share it with us, I'd be really happy to hear from you in the comments. Don't forget your like and share and subscribe not to miss any of the coming videos.